Yellow guys, it's Animanga. It's been a long time, hadn't it, since the last review, since episode 19 review, but I'm ready to continue the Paradox Brothers duel, episode 20, part 2 of Double Trouble Duel. Let me just get straight on into the 5 points. So, oh, by the way, I was pretty proud of this Gate Guardian drawing. It was pretty decent, actually. It took me a while because Ibis Paint changed their text ways, so now you gotta like write it out. It's really dumb. Anyway, okay, so enough of my ranting. The 5 points. So the first point I wanted to make about this episode I really love is Kaiba destroying Chemo. Like 4Kids didn't even cut this or censor it. They did was put a boing like an arrow noise over when Kaiba elbowed Chemo, and then he threw him down to the ground. By the way, if you're Chemo, why would you warn him you were coming by when you're behind the tree and saying, "Well, if it isn't the famous Seto Kaiba here to rescue his captured brother, no doubt." Why would you say that before attacking a person? I mean, as scummy as Chemo is, I didn't think he had honor like that. So that's the first point. The second point, I loved seeing Yugi's and Joey's monsters team up in the maze before they got separated. I had thought about drawing that scene because that's one of my favorite scenes, seeing their monsters all together because it shows their teamwork and how well they work together. I just think it really shows how good of a team they are, honestly. And yeah, I don't know. That whole scene was great. Of course, they get split up literally the next turn, but it was great to see. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Of course, what were the four monsters? Dark Magician leading the way, Celtic Guardian, Flame Swordsman, and Axe Rada. Axe Rada. So that's the second point. The third point, when it was like about midway through the episode, I believe, and Chemo is forced to open the door because it has a hand scanner. So Kaiba needs Chemo for a little bit to lead him through the castle and to get in. And Chemo is like, "You do know Pegasus, or no? You think we should ring the bell?" And Kaiba said, "I think you should shut your mouth." And he's like, "Open it right now." I love that part. And then of course Chemo says, "You do know no one takes Pegasus by surprise. He probably already knows you're here somehow." And I love how it cuts to him as he takes a sip of his wine and his eye glows. That's one of the best parts. I love how they cut to it. They just did a 10 out of 10 job at showing how untouchable of a villain Pegasus was. Yeah, so he was truly untouchable villain. That's the third point. The fourth point, probably the most famous line from this episode, where the Pharaoh says that when the Gate Guardian's being summoned, he's saying, the Trinity, it's in the class of Exodia. When he says that, it's funny now hearing it, but at the time he pumped up Gate Guardian really well, and it is a powerful monster. I don't know why he said it was in the class of Exodia. It definitely is not as powerful as Exodia. It's not even as powerful as Blue Eyes Ultimate, but I think it has the second highest attack stat of all the monsters in Duelist Kingdom. But I think he said it's in the class of Exodia because it has several parts to it. I think that's the reason he said it. It's always been kind of iffy to me, but when I was a kid, I was like, it's fine. Fun fact about this, quickly to extend this fourth point. Fun fact about this episode, it actually was the first episode that I saw that I saw on a site when YouTube first started. It was when YouTube really got big, 0506. It was the first Yu-Gi-Oh video or Yu-Gi-Oh episode I was able to find on there. And of course it was bootlegged. It looked really blurry a little bit, but I was just excited. It was like the first time I realized I could get, because the complete series hadn't come out on DVD yet. So that was my only way to get Yu-Gi-Oh again, because it didn't run on reruns that much. Um, so anyway, that was a fun little point. It just was the first video I saw on YouTube of Yu-Gi-Oh. and it really struck me. Anyway, okay. So the fifth point. This is the Gate Guardians intro, of course, as you couldn't tell by my drawing. And his anime version, I know we got new support that the is like his anime version, but his anime version was way better than the real life version initially, obviously. The real life Gate Guardian is near impossible to summon. Very near impossible. It's hard enough to summon the separate pieces, Suijin, Kazejin, and Sangha. Yeah, that's the only point I wanted to make about it. I know we got new support finally. It only took what? I mean, it only took 22 years. I'm sorry, 21 years. So those are the 5 points. I really, by the way, with this drawing, I really didn't mess up that much. It was kind of weird because I'm very tired. I guess when I'm tired, I'm better at drawing. I don't know. Anyway, I try to get the proportions of the Gate Guardian right. I think I did pretty decent job. That's what I usually mess up on is proportions, but he looks okay. The rating and the episode MVPs, I would say I would keep the same. I would pretty much keep the same for all 3 episodes because it's the same duel and all episodes are important to the duel. So 9 out of 10 again. Episode MVP, Yugi and Joey. There's not much else to say about it. It just continues from the great play from the last episode. And now we're heading into the finale of the duel, which is my favorite part 3. Definitely the best part of the duel. And yeah, and by the way, I believe this was this episode or episode 21 was the last episode to air before the official card game began in America. I believe this came out March 2002, and the same and Legend of Blue Eyes came out March 2002. Dang it, I want to say 2022. So I believe it came out like a few days before Legend of Blue Eyes, because I remember I was really wanting all the cards, but they didn't have them yet. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Well, the video's not over. I hope you enjoyed the next 2 minutes of this video to finish it out. And like I said, 9 out of 10, episode MVP, Yugi and Joey. All right, see you guys for the next one, which will be Double Trouble Duel Part 3. Bye, guys.